Actually, just the secretary. He keeps calling me the chair. I'm the one that takes the notes. Anyway, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We all are just your neighbors here in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County that are passionate about promoting unity, a way of life of unity, without regard to whether or not we follow the same religion. And so we all got together and decided to form this council, Rutherford County Interfaith Council. We do have some guests on the panel tonight who have not been to the council meetings, but just that they're willing to be here with us tonight lets us know that they're sort of on the same page. I would like to let you know that the purpose of this panel discussion is not to argue or debate which religion is right or which religion is wrong. The purpose is simply to inform. So when we get to our question and answer portion, we've passed out my lovely 87-year-old mother. Has passed out cards and pencils. So as you hear the panel members talk, if a question comes into your mind about another faith that you've always wanted to know, even if you feel it's sensitive, we don't mind the sensitive questions because that's where the healing begins. But please be mindful as you phrase your question that we're not looking for a debate or argument. We're looking simply to give information about each of our respective faiths here. So the way the program will go tonight is each faith will have 3 minutes to speak on the topic of how to build bridges of tolerance and understanding from their faith's perspective. After, I even have a timer here, because some of our panel members like to get a little long-winded. What? Me? Yeah. So I'm going to hold her.
No, I was pointing at her.
So we will have 3 minutes on each, and then we will open it up to questions for all of you. And we hope that you go away this evening feeling closer to all of your community members, and hopefully in the future we'll have more events similar to this to just keep growing it. And the world is watching at Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So we can make a big change in this country with events like this. Before we start, let me introduce our panelists. Steve Sewell is a Lion of Judah, and I didn't know what that was, and he'll probably tell you later, but my understanding, because I looked on Wikipedia, is that he is a descendant of Judah.
That's right.
Isn't that awesome? And he's a retired teacher, and so he's a Jewish, and so is Holly. Holly is a secular Jewish, and she is a nonprofit advisor. I have to look at the name placard so I can remember. Next to her are our two Muslim panelists, Mr. Rajab. Did I say it right? Thank you. Good. Mr. Rajab is an Islamic studies teacher, and there you go.
Okay.
Oh, we set it up. There we go. Yeah, now we can see. So if you need questions and stuff.
Yeah.
And beside him is Abdul Khatib, who is the president of the Murfreesboro Muslim Youth Group, who's very active in outreach here in Murfreesboro. And I think probably a real key why we have had such a wonderful reception last night, because we're able to get to know our neighbors. Then we can love everybody, love them, okay? Beside him is Pastor Caldwell. Thank you, Pastor Caldwell, for letting us use your chapel here. He's also opened up this church for our meetings. Our first meetings were here also. So beside him is Toy Scott, also a retired teacher and a member of the Lutheran? We're Advent Lutheran Church. I was trying to remember that. Besides Toy is Jason Bennett. Jason is the executive director of Murfreesboro Coal Patrol. And between he and Abdu, Murfreesboro is all taken care of. They just have to everybody. Everybody, yeah. Two amazing, everybody here is amazing. And the one next to him is Sweet Jennifer Richardson. That's what her email says, and I just love it. Jennifer Richardson is an art history instructor at the Tennessee Art Institute. And besides Jennifer is Chantal Serino. He is a Rutherford County Commissioner and a member of the Buddhist temple on Old Nashville. Is that right? Yeah, okay. And then our last panelist, but not least, Intianu Bullock. Intianu and I are members of the Baha'i Faith, and we're old friends. we have some stories to tell you. So without further ado, Mr. Steve Sewell, we are going to start with you and Holly. I think you're going to kind of lead it, and you can jump in on how do we build bridges of tolerance and understanding?
Yes, thank you very much, Linnell. How do you bridge tolerance? That's an interesting question, isn't it? I can tell you how not to. Let's start with that. Jewish history shows me that we have had many difficulties with governmental policies. This may sound familiar in our history, and that from being crucified by the Romans to persecution with pogroms in Spain, and we all remember what happened with the Holocaust. That's a bummer, and we need to find ways to learn to tolerate people and not to persecute people. Our persecution, I'm sorry, I have to read some of it. Our persecution has mostly been due to governments establishing policies that were against our human rights and religious rights. Okay? And for a country that was set up for religious freedom, that is sad. We are very worried about our president at this point, and his power to persecute Muslims. This is wrong. As a Jew, it is my responsibility, this is my responsibility, to stand up against injustice anywhere. Doesn't matter what religious background you're from. Even in the injustice, when the injustice comes from the government of the United States, and I seriously mean that. Due to the ban, an un-American, unconstitutional cutting off of the United States to the rest of the world because of the prosecution. This is going to hurt us in the entire developmental world.
Amen.
America's safety is becoming jeopardized because we have proven when we persecute Muslims in the other countries, it also energizes people to join ISIS. The way demonstrated refugees, the way that documented, I can't read my own writing, documented refugees, visitors of the United States also, are being treated when they arrive in the United States airports is similar to the way Nazi Germany reacted. Detaining people with no explanation or reasons, no...
So your time is up, Steve. Can you finish that sentence and then, that was 3 minutes.
Oh
That was
my
3 minutes.
gosh!
Finish that sentence and then we'll pass it on.
And then,
No, not and then.
okay, so that when they were not given water for 8 to 10 hours and escorted by armed guards to the bathrooms. And that's ridiculous. That's not American.